Hey farmers, Michael here from Growing Farmers and the Farm on Central. And today I wanted to talk all about cover crops and 3 mistakes I made with this 8-way cover crop mix behind me here. So you can see I'm kind of holding the different species. First question everyone asks is, Michael, what did you plant? What's the mix? And actually, that's not the question you should be asking. It's like, Michael, this is what I want to do with my cover crop. There's a lot of ways you could use a cover crop, and you got to make sure you're doing the right thing with it and get the right species for that. So don't just follow my lead because I grew 8 different varieties, and you want to use the cover crops the right way. So let's talk about what we did use, and then I'm going to go into the 3 mistakes I made for this. So the first up is, of course, did I drop it? I did. Just a minute. Be back. Here we are. 2 clovers. We put in, this is sweet clover right here. That's sweet clover. And then this one right here, this is crimson clover. You can see it's a little bit different leaf shape, it's a little more hairy. So we got those. We've got cowpeas. Cowpeas are always fun because they fix nitrogen. And you can see on the roots there, I don't know if you can see that there, the nodules right there on the roots. If you look at it, you can see the different little nodules right there on the roots that are from they're fixing nitrogen, which is awesome. It's awesome to be fixing nitrogen, and nice strong plants too. I love cowpeas. Another one we put in right here, millet. So this is fast growing annual right here. It's kind of, you can see this is the base, kind of grassy. This is the top. It's a common bird food. We're going to attract a lot of goldfinches here in a couple weeks. Sunflower. Sunflower here, a great biomass right here. And then we've also got buckwheat. So, yeah, mistake number 1. Mistake number 1 was that I didn't take ownership of putting the mix together. So I let someone outsource it. Last year we did a similar mix, but not the same, which means we put in like similar species, but we didn't put all the different species in. And so, because I didn't take ownership of the mix, let someone else do it. We were really busy this spring. I thought the guy knew what he was doing, and he didn't. And the problem is it led to problem number 2, mistake number 2, lodging in the field. So I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to lift this up. You can see there how some of the cover crop has fallen over. That's a mistake. It's actually caused by mistake number 3, but it's also caused by mistake number 1, is that when you put the wrong species together, millet's not a particular stocky plant, and so because we put it in too thick, also, it lodges a lot, so it falls over. And now we're going back to talking about the purpose for this cover crop. And we got 3 different purposes for this cover crop. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But we had a lot of lodging in here, which means a lot of it fell over, which means we're not going to be able to express, and it's going to let weeds come back through. So that was mistake number 2, is letting the lodging happen, which actually was caused partially by mistake number 3, which was not calibrating the seeder. So I'll show a little video of the seeder going through here. You can see it was a beautiful seeder, a newer no-till John Deere seeder, does a great job, but the problem is I didn't spend the time to calibrate it when it first got here. And because we're doing this cocktail of cover crops, all the seeds different sizes, you never quite know what setting you need to put it on. So what we normally do, and I've done it multiple times in the past, is you get the close as you can, then you take off one of the feed tubes, you stick up a cup or like a small bucket, run it 200 feet out, and we actually built a calculator which you just plug all the numbers into, and that's in our small farm university. Our members get access to that calculator. They plug the numbers in, it tells them exactly how many pounds per acre that you're putting down. And that's key to know if you're putting it too heavy or too light. And we actually did that. In some spots we don't have enough, some spots it's too much. So that was the mistake there, is not calibrating. I'm going to throw in a bonus one too, is I put the wrong ratios in. And obviously the wrong ratios is because I didn't personally take responsibility, but it's also another mistake that you need to avoid, is make sure you think about, again, Michael or yourself, what is the keys that I want for this cover crop? And when you figure out what that is, now then you can then go down the path of what you want to be predominant. So let's kind of back up a little bit and talk about that. So what did we want here? Why the whole reason for growing this? Okay, 1, I love when I first get on a property to grow a cover crop, to outcompete weeds. Number one purpose. Number two purpose is we want a beautiful field of sunflowers to attract people driving by to see it. We want them to stop, take pictures, get to know us for, oh my gosh, those are the people with the sunflowers. Number three, we wanted to bring biological life back to the soil. And so that's for biological life is, feeding the soil, feeding the earthworms, getting the soil organic matter up a bit with feeding that soil. But the other thing is too, is the life on top of the soil. So all the rabbits, the mice. Well, the reason we want rabbits and mice to come back is that brings back the hawks. And when we have pests like the rodents, the hawks are going to be in full force out here. So we definitely want that. Also, dragonflies, the birds, with all the millet we're growing, we're going to attract those goldfinches like crazy. They're going to love this field. So when you look at those reasons for then you can start picking the varieties, because we talked at the beginning, people ask, Michael, what'd you grow? I want to grow the same thing. No, you don't. You want to know, Michael, these are why I want a cover crop. And then we're going to work back from that to help you pick the right species. So yeah, buckwheat, great for quick cover in the field. 30 days, you can till it under. It's not going to give you a whole lot of organic matter. I mean, you can literally just crush that all up. There's not much there after I've crushed that up. But with like something like sun hemp, or if you went with sorghum Sudan grass, that's gonna give you a ton of biomass and a ton of the plow back into the soil. So a lot of different reasons you'd go for that. So what do you want a cover crop for? Comment below, let me know what you're trying to do with a cover crop. There's definitely some great resources there on the internet. The cover crop manual I'll link to below so you can grab that. But go ahead, like our channel, follow us, leave a comment below, let us know your struggle with cover crop, and share this with a friend that needs it. We are always excited about new people finding us, new people sharing our information, getting value out of it. So share away, and we'll talk to you next week.